So this is connected. So
Oh, that's so good.
I can't believe. What do you?
I was just looking at memes.
I don't know.
Are we recording?
Almost.
Almost.
I don't fucking know.
That's good.
Okay, it says we're live.
But are we live?
Probably. It's kind of hard to say. Anyway. So Jay, how are you? Ready for the second live TRP?
I suppose so. Do we have anyone actually watching?
No, but that's fine. Because it says... That's weird, because it says we're offline. But we should be online.
Well, that's not helpful.
Well, because it says you are live. Oh, look. Everything's falling apart. It says... So, anyway. I don't even know where the fuck this is going on. If people can see us...
No one's even in the chat.
Something is going weird. But I'm not sure what's happening. Oh, okay. I think it's kicking in now. Oh, there we go.
We have one viewer. Excellent. We're live. Welcome to, was it number 8? The 8th TRP, the Rational Podcast. Our second live podcast.
So let's continue talking about the room like we were before.
Let's hope that our one viewer knows what the room is.
The room is fucking great, man. The room. I'm actually really looking forward to the Disaster Artist, but maybe he's vampire. But apparently Tommy Wiseau is perfectly happy with that movie.
Well,
like he's been on set and they've taken pictures with him and stuff.
He did try to claim that the entire movie was a joke after it failed so spectacularly. So maybe that's what he's running with.
See, the problem with that, is you can't just fucking like claim it's serious for like a year straight and then be like, nah, it's a joke.
Well,
unless he's really committed to the troll.
That's what I assume Trump's going to do when he finishes his presidency.
It's just like, it was a troll,
I
guys.
was just joking, man. I was just joking.
It was a meme.
Yeah.
I did it for 4chan. But like, I don't know. With Trump though, I love how quickly did
the transition very smoothly.
Well, Tommy Wiseau and Trump, I guess, share some similarities
in intelligence, in acting skills.
I have seen the fuck, what's his show? The Apprentice.
Oh man, it's good. It's good watching.
It's good TV.
That's intellectually stimulating viewing.
It's almost as good as Mystery Diners.
Oh, I think I've seen that. I think I've only seen one of those. I just immediately turned it off.
Well, yeah, 'cause it's fucking terrible.
Anyway, what's the topic for this podcast?
There's a number of topics, I imagine. The first of which is 4chan. No.
It's my favorite topic.
We were going to do a live stream last week, but then I had surgery on my face. So I was going to do it anyway. That's what I wanted to do. And Jay messaged me when I was in the hospital going, you should probably not do the stream.
Yeah.
Probably
could you even speak?
Yeah, somewhat.
Somewhat. No, it would have been interesting. It would have been...
Well, what I should have done was because they gave me fucking tramadol. Like, they gave me some, fucking taking a fistful of pingers if I had those as, painkillers. I should have taken them and done the stream.
You should have just been like, nah, ketamine.
Ketamine?
I'm allergic to everything else. I don't even know what's in ketamine, but...
I need to have out-of-body experiences to leave my body of pain. But yeah, so then we didn't end up doing it, so we're doing that now. But it kind of... Wow. I was about to say something that was extremely wouldn't have been ideal.
But it couldn't have been worse than our last podcast where you made all the Hitler references and all the jokes.
Well, I was about to say, it kind of worked out for the best because then this Vegas shooting happened, and now we have something to talk about.
Okay, I'm just gonna review what you just said there. It worked out for the best because the Vegas shooting happened. I think you might want to reword.
That's what I'm saying. Oh,
would you not advocate gun violence at all?
Well, that depends. If the gun violence is against Nazis, I have to because I love Tumblr.
Well,
Punch a Nazi.
I suppose that's the route you have to take after the last podcast. We got berated so bad by one dude.
Oh yeah, talk about
that.
Preach it, brother.
I can't remember.
There's no point in naming names.
No, I was gonna say I wouldn't name his name anyway. But yeah. So some people were offended by the fact that I made lots of Nazi references and joked about, was it saying Hitler did nothing wrong?
Yeah, I made a lot of jokes about Hitler, which is weird because humor. I really find it weird when people get offended by humor and then expect other people to have to adhere towards their subjective preferences. Like, I can understand if you don't find something funny, and that's perfectly within your right to not find something funny. But to then start making inferences about someone else claiming they're a bad person because they make jokes, like, intent is extremely important, and for someone to be a bad person, they really have to, at least, it's especially in terms of what they talk about, they have to be intending for it to be bad. Because it's weird that people will shit on social justice warriors for the concept of microaggressions, but then will go, you made this joke, and this joke is bad, and you're a bad person. It seems to be basically completely synonymous with the concept of microaggressions.
Well, yeah, like I don't know which direction to take this now because I fucking hate microaggressions. The entire concept of microaggressions is retarded. Because aggression in itself is referring to intent. You can't really be. I suppose you could behave aggressively without being aggressive, without having the intent to be aggressive. Like, it can just be a natural thing, but then it's only perceived that way. So it is up to the difference between intention and perception. And I think people need to really make the effort to actually focus on what the intention is. Like, if you freak out because somebody says something which you deem to be offensive, it's like if I put my hand out to shake it and you take that as an act of aggression. If you freak out at that, but I'm not actually intending to any form of aggression, if I'm not being aggressive, but you take it as aggressive, that's your problem. It's not my problem.
Yeah, and but that's the thing. I'm perfectly happy with people not finding something funny. And you know, I'm actually perfectly happy with someone being offended, so long as they don't expect you to do something about their offense. Like, if someone goes, "Oh, I find that joke offensive," like if they personally find that joke offensive, that's perfectly fine. My problem is when they go, "I find that joke offensive, so you have to make changes." It's like, no. Your personal preference doesn't change shit that I have to do. It's your personal preference. And, especially when you're going onto a video and then going, "I find this offensive." It's like, well, then just don't watch. You have the perfect option of just not watching.
Yeah.
No one's forcing you to watch it. No one's forcing you to be involved. So to then turn up and be like, you have to operate as though I want to, it's like, well, first of all, if someone already has an audience, it doesn't make sense for them to then just change themselves for this one person who clearly isn't very passionate, like clearly isn't enjoying the content. Like, when someone makes content, I think the same with when you're writing a story or something like that, you have to write for yourself first and for the viewers and readers second, in that you have to make stuff that you like and that you enjoy making, and that, because that's where you're going to get the best out of it, or at least you're
selling yourself. And if people,
and I'm a piece of shit.
If people don't want to, if people don't want to buy that piece of shit, then that's perfectly fine. But it doesn't mean that you can't sell it. And when people like try and say that you can't say certain things because they don't agree with the humor, like it is you're trying to shape the market. You're basically walking up to a shop owner and go, "I don't like what you sell. You shouldn't sell it." But even though other people are coming along to buy it, like it makes. I mean, it's extremely arrogant, really.
I don't like toffee.
Yeah,
I don't think toffee should. But I'm not saying toffee should be fucking illegal. Like,
it should definitely be illegal. It gets stuck in your teeth and it's all chewy.
So
I actually really like toffee.
So what I've learned is I think Hitler jokes are perfectly fine, but toffee is unacceptable.
The point is if you're offended by something, go fuck yourself. No one cares.
What a time to be alive.
I remember watching a Steven Crowder video where he infiltrated a communist group. They were starting rallies for I think it was like bus drivers or something, or for
Oh, I think I've seen this.
and it just he was just talking to these basically the SJWs that like communism, or socialism, and they they just have this thing of like it's like this constant battle of like who can be the least offensive. Like they're just constantly trying their best to cater to everybody's sensitivities, and it's fucking ridiculous. Like no one, if you're offended by something, that is a problem for you. That's not anyone else's problem. It is not a virtue to be offended. And I remember in that conversation we had with that guy who was calling us out in the Nazi jokes. I stand by this. Being offended is not an intellectual virtue at all. I don't rate it as a respectable character trait. In fact, it's exactly the opposite. The more offended you are, the less respect I'm going to have for you. That's not to say that you can't be offended. Like I've been offended by things, but every time I've been offended by things, I reflected on myself. I don't look at the other person and go, "You piece of shit! How could you say something like that?" I think about what it means, why I'm offended by it, and I don't think I've ever once said to somebody, "Hey, that's offensive. You shouldn't say that."
My point is, if you're offended by something, that's fine. And if you want them to change, the reason for that change can't be your offense.
Yeah.
So if I go that I find that offensive and I don't have a reason to say that that should be changed outside of just I find it personally offensive, then I have no grounding and I should fuck off. Like, and that's kind of where I fall on that, is that there might be reasons to. So, for example, if someone puts out, if fucking ISIS starts putting out literal recruitment videos on like fucking Facebook or something, and they're like, I find that offensive. Also, I think that should be shut down. But the reason I think it should be shut down is not because I find it offensive. It's because it's fucking recruiting terrorists.
Yeah.
Like, the fact is, in my terms of what I should be restricting, my reason is not my offense. It's something else. My offense is just tangential.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it.
So basically, Zikaila Schnitzelscheiße Grenade.
What does that mean?
I believe it means Hail Hitler, oh shit, grenade. In German.
It actually, my German's not very good, but that actually sounds like a pretty good pronunciation to me.
Well,
it sounds like you practiced that, getting ready. I imagine with a little bit of Sharpie on your upper lip and a red bandana around your arm.
Man, I learned that. A kid in primary school told me that.
Really?
I've retained it for that long. I remember looking it up a while back, and I think it was right.
Yeah.
Because I know Zikail it's like what I don't think it literally translates to Hail Hitler. I think something similar. But then, oh man, someone in the chat. Let's see what we can come up with that will actually offend J or R. Then we'll see if they can walk the walk. So,
oh, excellent! This
one. I'm already offended because you put J in front of R.
Job well done.
No, I don't know. Like, I definitely can be offended.
What's your most sensitive topic? For me, I think
it depends. Though, I actually I get triggered as fuck if like someone's anti-vaccine stuff. Like,
yeah.
It really it triggers me pretty hard. Like. I'll see someone. I was at a kind of family gathering for my girlfriend's family. I basically have no family, but her family's fucking huge. And I was there, and one of the uncles said some anti-vaccine shit, and I was just like,
"Is that offending, or is that just triggering your?"
But that's the problem. I was offended, but it was tangential to all my other reasons to not be happy about it. I don't think I have an issue. This fucking guy.
What?
I know. I gotta ban this motherfucker. Blue ties are sexy. Red ties for assholes.
Oh yeah.
Abortion. Abortion doesn't really offend me.
Abortion doesn't offend me at all.
Makes me the topic does make me a little uncomfortable in general because I like it's one thing about that is that it's a topic which clearly isn't black or white. It's like there's not a straight up 100% right and 100% wrong answer, which does make me uncomfortable, but not uncomfortable in the sense of I don't want it to exist. Just I get real kind of antsy about like trying to approach that because it feels like you're walking over a minefield, not because people might just get offended, but people might get offended, but because I really try to make sure that I'm being consistent. And when I try and explore a topic like abortion, it's actually quite hard to think about every application of what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the times I've said things and then I've looked back and thought, well, what about this? If I apply my logic that I said there is, if my logic's in, but then I found holes in what I've said.
Not consistent logic.
Yeah, which is the problem. But then when it's something like the flat Earth, it's real fucking easy because it's just like, listen, you fucks.
It's gotten to the point now. Honestly, I think
I got a guy to admit that he didn't believe China existed. Like, what the fuck? His argument was all the photos of the Earth that are being edited or that are just being sent in wholesale were taken by people who haven't actually been in space, so they don't know it's real. So you should ignore them, the images. And I was like, have you been to China? It's like, I was like, well, do you believe in geographical locations you haven't been to, but you've only seen pictures of? And then he obviously saw the glaring hole in his epistemology and then was like, well, if someone I trust shows me the picture like my brother, then the response there was easy. It was like, has your brother been to China? Which he hadn't. So it's like, well, you don't believe in China then. And then he rolled with it.
He said he doesn't believe in China.
He just took it. I was like, what the fuck?
Well, he was being consistent at least, but
yeah, well, you know what? Good for him. Good for him in that he was being consistent.
Yeah.
Terrible for him that it meant he didn't believe in China. Like,
hey, we don't actually know if China's there. Have you been to China? I haven't been to China.
But that same logic, even if you've been to China, you don't know that it was China. What if they just took you to fucking Japan and got you off and walked you around in a different part of Japan and were like, this is China? There's a bunch of people who speak Chinese there.
The people make different sounds with their mouths.
Why don't they just put a bunch of people who speak Chinese in... You know what I'm saying?
Their eyes are slightly more slanted.
If you're going to make the absolute certainty, like...
I'm sure that was
defense, the absolute certainty defense, then you don't know anything, and then you should just fucking lie in your bed until you starve and die.
Take a step out the second floor window.
You don't know gravity exists.
You never know if gravity's going to be there at that time you take that step. Could be there, could disappear. But
consistently autistic.
Something for...
Are you offended by suicide jokes?
Suicide jokes. I genuinely don't think I could find something to be offended by. Like I get triggered by stuff. Like you're saying, like you get triggered by the anti-vax stuff. Like I get intellectually triggered. I do get slightly offended now I think about when people make comments where I feel like would be infringing upon my rights. Like when people say that certain things should be banned or that certain rights should be, like gay marriage. I think, like, I'm not gay, but I think people should have the right to get married. And when someone says that they, you know, for whatever reason that they believe that gay couples shouldn't be able to get married, I find that to be slightly offensive. But at the same time, like, I don't go, oh, that offends me, therefore you shouldn't, like, you know, that's my argument. I go, that makes, it triggers a slight emotional effect in me, and then I go, okay, let's reason this out. Yeah. I think if I was gay, I'd probably be a lot more offended by it. But
then the problem is
being a straight white male, it's hard to be offended by a lot of shit.
The problem is though, is that
I love I love Smash Mouth.
Shit, I forgot what you were saying. What did you fucking say?
Gay marriage is slightly offensive.
Oh, the problem is though, all the instances you've outlined where you can get offensive, the offense has been tangential to a reason.
Yeah, it's an emotional trigger. That's it. I get
But
emotionally
it's an
triggered
emotional
by
trigger with at least a reason for it. I think we're trying to find an instance where we just get offended. Because if someone comes in and goes, vaccines cause autism, I'm offended when someone walks in and says it, because it's fucking stupid, and for a number of reasons, which I want to go, hey, we need to make sure this is accurate.
Yeah.
Not just like my feelings, because it's not. I think I can explain this. It's not. The input doesn't cause. So basically, it doesn't hit me. So say someone says something, that doesn't directly cause an emotion to me. It causes something which then causes an emotion. So someone says vaccines cause autism. The stupidity of that and the damage of that then offends me. So there's a step in between. I'm trying to find an instance where there's no step in between and it's just offense.
Why do you need to distinguish?
Just so that I can be butthurt. Just so that I can be irrationally butthurt like that guy when you were asking him to explain his reasoning for being so offended and why you should take it seriously.
You know what offends me? That dude who said he was offended by our sense of humor. That's offensive. How offensive is it to go up to someone and say, you know what? I think your sense of humor is shit. I think you're a terrible person. I think you're sick. I think you're mentally ill.
It's how he claimed you were mentally ill. It's how he claimed we were mentally ill. I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
It was.
Imagine if that was how psychology worked. You
put up memes, and it's just you put up a racist one, and
imagine
and
how
you,
easy.
If you laugh at the racist one, then the psychologist ticks a box.
Imagine how easy it would be to get away with to get off death row with an insanity plea.
Just get offended.
You just fucking go, nigger. And people are like, oh, he's clearly sick in the head. It's insanity. It's insanity. Like,
I think he was using sick as in the sense of like, well, no, actually, he said emotionally sick.
Yeah, he said emotionally sick. He said mental problem, and then he said specifically mental problems later.
Yeah. Well, that's for certain. But
what was crazy
was
when you called him out for having an emotional knee-jerk reaction when you asked him for like reasoning, and his response was to just have a second emotional knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah, double down on your knee jerks. When the doctor taps your nerve, you kick a little bit, and then when he taps it the second time, you kick him in the nuts so he doesn't hit you again. That's the way.
Genius. What do you think of my meme when someone said, "Do I find suicide jokes offensive?"
Oh, that's why you put that in there.
Yeah.
It's not really a suicide joke.
Well, Kurt Cobain killed himself, and the guy from Green Day killed himself.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's fucking 3 levels. It's meta as fuck. That's meta, son.
Yeah. There should have been a shotgun joke in there. That would have been funnier. Well, I think how long has he been dead now?
A while.
Yeah, see, it's been long enough.
It was the Green Day. It was Green Day as well. That was only a couple of months ago.
Yeah, but no one cares about Green Day anymore. See, Nirvana were good. Nah. I listened to Green Day in high school.
Okay.
To my shame.
I'm going to admit this for some reason. I listened to Avril Lavigne in high school.
Oh, so the comment section is going to light up.
Tear
him to shreds.
I remember. It wasn't really high school, actually. I think like the very first year of high school in England, because I started at like year 7. But I remember when I was in primary school listening to Avril Lavigne's fucking album that had Skater Boy on it. And I remember really distinctly my dad looking at me as though I was a little fucking faggot. But I didn't recognize... Someone saying no one in Green Day killed themselves. Yeah, I think it was actually Linkin Park or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Either way, they're both the same thing. They may as well all kill themselves.
You fucked it up. We're just predicting the future anyway.
Yeah. The point is, my dad looked at me like I was a little fucking faggot, and I never noticed it. And then, like, years later, I looked back at it, and I was like, man, he must have been very disappointed. Like... When I'm there, like, why'd you have to go and make things so complicated? I see the way you...
Okay, you know what offends me? You're singing.
Well, that's totally fair. R/J, have you ever punched someone? Then we'll really know for sure what offends you. I have punched a vast number of people. However,
only consensually.
Yeah, but if I exclude training, which involves me punching people like 4 times a week, yes. But that also again would easily be self-defense. But still, fuckers at the train station trying to get me to give me their wallet, my wallet, not their wallet.
Yeah, so I don't suppose there's probably less emotion in that than when someone asks about vaccines.
I've never punched someone out of rage. I actually can't imagine the concept of being so angry that I'd hit someone. It seems really odd to me.
Yeah,
like the actual concept of resorting to like it, the concept of hitting another person in the face due to rage. It's not even a reference I can even like.
I feel the same way in that, and I wonder if that's because of combat training. Because
the problem is, I know people who like, a lot of people who combat train are the same, but I do know people who combat train who just want to fight everybody. So.
But they maybe that's why they got into it, because I feel like having done it from a young age, like no point in my life have I ever felt like resorting to violence out of any kind of emotional outburst. But like the idea, like I'm trying to empathize with somebody who would, and I feel like the frustration. I feel like it's more the frustration of being powerless and wanting to do something that makes someone
I've always felt that like in situations that with another person, I've always felt like discourse was a better way to actually getting what I was trying to get in that conversation rather than punching them.
Yeah,
because at least like if frustration is an outlet of helplessness, then attacking them isn't really going to get you any further. Like if you're trying to say, if you're having a debate with someone, someone's going, vaccines cause autism, beating the shit out of them isn't going to change that.
You don't know that.
Maybe if I beat them hard enough.
You just got to beat them enough times.
I'm going to trigger. Well, I would say the whole chat, but there's 8 people watching. But you know what? I reckon I could trigger people pretty hard, and I could trigger you. Hear this? That's cherry Coke. I'm drinking cherry Coke.
I thought you were going to come out with some like massive racial slur or something like that.
Nope. That's it. That's just it. I drink cherry Coke. Cherry Coke is better than regular Coke. Cherry Coke is easily the best tasting Coke to me.
It's not better than vanilla Coke.
First of all, vanilla Coke tastes like literal shit.
I'm offended now.
Cherry Coke is scientifically the best Coke.
Citation needed.
Here's what you do. I quantify enjoyment. So a scale of 1 to 10.
On a questionnaire, like subjective recall.
Yep. And then I ask myself, what do I rate this? I go 10, publish. Sample size of 1.
Sample size, n equals 1. 100% positive rating. That's if you can get it published, then it's legit.
Yeah.
But no, I don't drink Coke. I don't drink Coke anyway, so.
I don't drink a lot of Coke, but when I do.
You're drinking cherry Coke right now.
Well, I said I don't drink a lot of Coke, you fucking...
Well, what a lot is a relative term.
Allah Akbar! People say now they know we eat shit. Let's be real. If anybody's not going to tell me when you've been wiping your butt at one point in your life and you got a bit on your finger and you haven't just dabbed it on your tongue and be like, what's going on there? You're lying. You're fucking lying. Like, let's be real. Let's be real, guys. That's all. This is a safe space.
That would actually be an indication of mental illness, because there's ingrained emotional responses that prevent that from happening. It's called
like staring at the sun.
Like, it's called disgust. It's like an a priori inbuilt thing in human brains that says dead bodies and feces you should, and rotten food you should stay away from.
So it's probably not a good sign that I have sex with dead bodies as well, is it?
No, that's fine. Because the sex drive overrides the disgust, and they're both natural. So. No, that's pretty fucked up.
Someone in the comments, RC Cola is better than Coke or Pepsi. Funny story, this one time at the deli near where I used to live, they were selling, it's not RC Cola, what's that other really, LA Ice Cola?
LA Ice, yeah.
LA Ice Cola. He was selling a load of it for
It's so
like
cheap.
real cheap.
It's so cheap.
No, but like cheaper than it normally is.
Yeah.
And I was like, why is this? And he's like, oh, I'm pretty sure it's a faulty batch. And like it's a bad batch or something. I don't know what the fuck. But point is, I opened it and I'm pretty sure I saw bits of green in it. So I drank 6 bottles of it. This is what happened when I was like fucking 15. I was self-destructive as all hell. And then I had extremely violent diarrhea.
And then you dabbed your finger in it a little bit.
You know what's
That's
you know what's funny?
what?
It's actually pretty meta that I talk about trying to offend people, and then I'm pretty sure if I look in the comments, I'm definitely going to have triggered some people by saying you've all eaten your own shit. Let's be real.
Well, if you get triggered by that, you must have eaten your own shit.
It's not great.
Is there anyone actually offended in the comments, or has anyone come up with something that is actually slightly offensive?
Oh, someone said this might offend you. What are you going to do about the unresolved sexual tension between you two?
Oh, it's not unresolved. We joke each other off all the time. It's resolved.
I genuinely didn't expect you to do that. I genuinely expected you to...
It is the thing. Like, I find it's hard to be offended when like I'm not homophobic. I'm comfortable in my sexuality. Like, I'm not fat. I'm pretty sure I'm not ugly. Like, I don't have any like hang-ups about myself to get offended by. I am a ginger though.
Yeah.
So
See that?
if you make comments about gingers, better watch out.
Yeah, you can offend.
That's gonna offend me.
You can offend Jay.
No, like I got shit for being a ginger like my entire life essentially.
He's not a real ginger though. He's a fucking daywalker.
It's ginger enough to get teased about at school.
You wouldn't even qualify as half caste. Like,
No, it's
if we're talking about jiggaboos, like if we take someone like who comes out of cotton, like
straight from the cotton fields.
straight from the cotton fields, and then you have that with someone who's fucking as white as Lady Gaga, and that kid's half caste, you wouldn't even qualify as that if it's ginger. You'd be like, that half caste kid then has a baby with.
That's a terrible example because you've gone the two extremes. You've gone super white and super black, and then mixed them. That just makes like brown. We should have gone like.
Why are you criticizing? I'm offended.
This is not a good analogy. You
Cherry Coke's the bomb.
Cherry Coke's shit. You
Yeah,
should have gone someone who's just a little bit brown. Who's a little bit brown.
Fuck.
I don't know.
How do I not know a single half caste? Like,
Who's
public figure?
Jessica Alba. She's actually mostly Caucasian genetically, so she's like tan. She's slightly tan, and then she sleeps with I don't know an extremely white guy that I don't know, extremely white ginger.
Chris Hemsworth.
Okay, Chris Hemsworth. I think that's giving her a bit much. Oh, actually, no, they're both hot. That's cool. They're both in each other's league. Yeah, and their baby is essentially how half caste I am. Basically, I've got brown hair. That's where I was going with that. But I was ginger enough to get teased for it at school.
That's because kids will tease you for everything.
What's this? I'm a ginger too. Oh, Tim Minchin reference. Excellent. Who's that?
That's Keen Kong 61 or Ken Kong.
Brenda Carter. Excellent Tim Minchin reference.
Oh, sorry.
I love Tim Minchin.
Nice.
He's a good ginger.
So let's talk about guns.
Guns.
Let's do that. We've been fucking around for half hour. We've got the most amount of viewers we're ever going to get, which is 13. Incredible.
We had almost
we had 20 last time.
20. Yeah.
That's fine. Let's talk about some guns.
All right, guns. All right, I like guns.
Yeah, I own 6 guns.
Yeah.
I shoot them in public. In cinemas, particularly.
That should offend someone. That I find I'm offended by proxy.
I prefer it when the hook is sandy.
So where do you want to start?
With this Vegas shooting, I think. Someone said, "What's your best offensive joke?" I'm going to tell my best offensive joke before we do this.
Okay, go for it.
A man gets on a bus. He looks at the bus driver and goes, "Hey, how you going?" The bus driver's like, "Yep, that's cool." Take a seat. The guy takes a seat, starts driving. Then he hears boom, boom. He runs to the front, and the bus driver's crying. And he goes, "Oh, why are you crying?" He goes, "Oh, I ran over a cat." And he goes, "Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry, man." And then he sits back down, keeps driving again. Then boom, boom. Runs to the front and goes, "Oh," the bus driver's crying again. He goes, "Fuck, why are you crying, man? Why are you crying?" He goes, "Oh, I ran over a dog." He's like, man, I'm so sorry about that. It's not good." He goes back to his seat and then he hears boom, 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 boom. He runs to the front and the bus driver's laughing. He goes, "Why are you laughing?" He goes, "I just ran over a nigger." He goes, what was the first bump? I had to get on the curb to get him first.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, wow. That's,
Yep. Okay, so now about the guns. So to pre
oh, that's good.
Man, if that guy who got butthurt at our last one happens to watch this, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad.
Oh man, that's so racist. It's funny.
Yeah, it's great. Anyway, so to talk about guns. To preface this, we're both probably in favor of gun control, I would say.
No. I'm going to play devil's advocate, just because.
Well,
I'm going to try and make an argument for not legalizing guns, for not regulating guns. Attempt to. I'm going to attempt.
Okay,
to.
Go ahead.
Oh. Okay, so I'm working off because I'll be.
So basically, you're just jerking off Ben Shapiro.
All cards on the table. I think guns should be regulated, but these are the arguments I can make for why you shouldn't regulate guns. And let's stick to America, specifically just in America. And we were talking about this before when we were eating lunch. When you have a completely free society, when you build a society around the concept of freedom, you want to minimize regulations as much as possible. And obviously, you still need to have a functioning society with those minimal regulations. So at some point, the government is going to have to intervene to put some sort of control on it. In America, you've got 300 million guns. It's like a gun per person.
It's more now.
It's more than
there's more guns than people. In the
there's
USA.
more. So there's more guns than people in America.
And interesting stat before I forget. More people have died by domestic gun violence since 1968 than in every single war America's been in combined. So all of America's losses in World War I, World War II, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, and the Civil War, add all them together, it makes 1.3 million US deaths. By 1968, it's been 1.5 mil.
Shit. That's a lot of people. Make it hard to make this argument.
I wrote a state because you were talking about the balance of liberty, and the government. Someone I don't talk to too much messaged me the other day and asked me about my position on guns, and I wrote something which I actually think probably outlines it perfectly. I said, laws are inherently an infringement of liberty. What we have to do is a cost-benefit analysis of what liberty we are willing to curtail in a trade-off for the beneficial outcome, i.e. taxes exist, but we have roads, law enforcement, education, and other shit. The potential benefit of owning a gun does not nearly come close to the societal damage gun ownership causes. Literally more people have died in the USA from domestic gun violence since 1968 than in every single war America's been in since its inception. The freedom to own a gun does not supersede the freedom to not be shot by a gun. If anything, I would argue gun restriction laws provide no net decrease in liberty and maybe even an increase.
Yeah. Fuck. Yeah, I think it kind of hits the nail on the head because the path I was going to take was the balance of liberties versus infringements. But
the problem is though, it's not even like an important we have to. I agree that if guns are allowed, it increases personal liberty. Your personal liberty to own a gun. The same as if there's no driver's licenses.
Yeah.
The same as if there's no, like, if you remove taxes. Anarcho-capitalism, your liberty is maximized.
Yeah.
But well-being would definitely not be maximized in anarcho-capitalism, which then shows that some liberties have to be curtailed. And it just comes down to picking that balance. And I think that you have to look at each scenario. And when it comes to guns, there's clearly not enough benefit of allowing gun ownership, which pretty much exclusively comes down to enjoyment of owning guns. Like I haven't heard a single other argument for guns that's made any sense besides I enjoy having guns. Because the only other one I've heard is to fight back against the government if it becomes tyrannical. But the issue is the government has fucking drones.
Okay, the government argument doesn't make much sense anymore because, like, they have
Drones.
They have drones, tanks. You know, if the government has control of the military, you're fucked. No, rebel militia is going to stand up. Even if you go the full population of America versus the population of the military, and they're completely armed, it's just completely outgunned. You don't have access to
not only that,
armored vehicles and things like that.
You can have the entire population of America armed versus one drone. The drone will ultimately win.
Yeah,
because it can go high enough in the sky that people can't see it.
Just pick people off.
just keep dropping bombs.
Yeah, the point.
It's going to take a very long time for it to kill everyone, but
yeah, the point is a forceful protest against the government is not going to be effective if you're fighting the military. You need to do a non-forceful resistance. That's the only way you could take down the government. And the government is essentially just controlling the people. So if the people don't do what the government says, there is no government. They're useless. So you have to assume that the military is going to listen to what the government says, or if the military itself starts acting as its own entity. But the point is, in any scenario, you're not standing up to the force of the American military as a civilian. Doesn't matter how many guns you got. Doesn't matter if you've got armor plating on your car. Doesn't matter, how much ammunition you've stockpiled. How many of your boys you get together in the back of your ute, or pickup truck. You're not standing up to the military, and it's fucking ridiculous that people claim that.
But even if, let's say, there is an avenue where violent resistance is effective, I would not be to me, and I said this when we were in lunch as well. The most effective way to fight a government would be non-compliance of its populace.
Yeah,
because the government requires the populace. So if you get mass non-compliance, would be considerably more effective than fucking violent rebellion. I guess violent rebellion would be a combination of non-compliance, because I doubt people would be complying whilst in violent rebellion. But again, if you look at it realistically, there's not going to be a time when every one of America's fucking 300 million people just go, you know what? Let's fucking riot. Let's start fighting it. Like you're only ever going to get a portion of the population that's willing to engage in gunfights on the fucking street with drones and shit. That's never going to realistically take out the government. Whereas you're much more likely to encourage widespread non-compliance than get enough people to actually overthrow the fucking US government.
Yeah.
Maybe if you live in a country like fucking Libya or some shit that doesn't have the military industrial complex that some of the Western nations have, it's or like if you're in fucking Somalia, you could probably overthrow the government with a fucking slingshot if you're good enough. But in terms, especially in the USA, it's just an absolute pipe dream that someone could.
You got to seize the means of production. That's the only way.
So communism is the answer.
Communism is the answer.
Jay joined Antifa.
Well, they got some good shirts. But there's a point I was going to make, but I've lost it now. Yeah. So that there is other arguments to be made. So you can't realistically stand up to the government by having a fully automatic assault rifle, but can you defend yourself from other potential threats like gangs, home invasions, things like that. I would argue that a gun does provide a certain level of safety. The way up, obviously, is that when everybody's got a gun, it's your safety is initially decreased because somebody else has a gun.
The problem is it's inflation. If everybody has $1 million, nobody has $1 million. If you give everybody a gun, then but it doesn't. But it's the inverse of that. Because with inflation, if everybody has $1 million, nobody has $1 million. With guns, if everybody has a gun, everybody has fucking guns.
No. It's still the same because
it works because you no longer have the advantage of owning a gun.
Well, the value of the gun is the safety of having power over another person. But if everybody else has a gun, then you don't have power over anybody else. Everybody has equal power of owning the gun.
My problem with that is it paints it as though it's a net zero scenario.
I would argue it is. I would argue that depending on what
agree with that.
Depending on what metric you're measuring, if you're measuring power, like power to defend yourself, the metric is still 0, because if I give you a handgun and I don't have a handgun, your capacity for aggression and violence is greater than mine. But if I have a handgun, you have a handgun, we're now equal, right? So you've raised the bar from 0 to 0 and increased deaths from guns, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense, does it?
Yeah, exactly. You've gained no one any extra safety, and you've made every fucking interaction extremely potentially deadly. Like, one of the things I've heard is people go, if you get rid of guns, people will just use knives and other shit. And it's like, yeah. Violent crime is probably not going to drop, but the issue is the death rate is going to drop.
Yeah.
If you know, this is one thing I was talking about is what people are actually much harder to kill than Lord of the Rings makes out. Like when Legolas is fucking shooting people with a bow and like hitting them in the arm and they're falling to the ground just dead. That's not how fucking like death works.
Small children throwing rocks and killing.
Yeah, exactly.
Overgrown.
Fucking Uruks or whatever.
Kiwis.
Yeah.
Kiwis and makeup.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's the point, is that you don't have... Fuck, I forgot what I was saying. I'm just thinking about
people aren't easy to kill. A knife is not going to kill someone as easily as a gun is.
Yeah, exactly. Like, a knife is... Like, getting stabbed is not good. Like, for happy days, but more people are going to survive knife wounds than fucking getting shot. Especially if the person shooting them or stabbing them has intent to cause serious damage. Like, and as well, almost any weapon you can think of that isn't a gun requires some level of skill to use, like a good level of skill to use, but also a greater level of skill can relatively easily overpower the usage of it. Like, if someone... Like, you've done a lot of weapons training. I've done some, but you've done a lot more. If someone breaks into your house with a fucking bat and they're not trained and you don't have a bat...
It's like indoors?
In your house.
I'd be more worried if I was out in the street, like next to my car, and the person was swinging a bat at me than I would be inside, because you can't swing a bat inside. Even in my open living room, like... I'm probably going to walk away fairly bruised, but I'm pretty confident I'll walk away from that quite comfortably.
Yeah, exactly.
A knife is a scary scenario, because I know how badly things can turn with a knife, but at the same time, I reckon in 7 out of 10 scenarios, I walk away alive with cuts against someone who just with, like, if someone comes at me with a kitchen knife or something like that.
The other 2, you walk away with serious injuries, and the one you...
Yeah, I'd probably be straight up dead. And then the other person walks away. But, that's... with a handgun, I don't walk away.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, if you look at this Las Vegas shooting as an example, if you can find me a person who can injure 600 people almost 600 people with a knife and kill like over 50, I don't even think they should go to jail. That's so impressive that I think they should get away with it.
It's just
Like, I'm serious. If you can go to a crowd of people that big with a knife and injure almost 600 people, you don't even go to jail.
Your name is Miyamoto Musashi.
Yeah, there's a level where you surpass the law. Where like you go, the judge looks at you in court and he just goes, "I ain't even mad," and lets you go. Like
we put you in prison. You ain't gonna stay there long. You're gonna like fly out.
It's totally impressive. Yeah. So the fact of the matter is, you're just not going to get events like that either. But I think we've outlined that enough because someone's just asked a question now. Which I think is a perfect segue to progress this conversation. So are you guys advocating for an outright ban or heavier regulation? That's where it comes down because the problem with the gun debate is I think both sides are fucking stupid. One,
it's usually
the anti-gun people present unreal Ninja Gaiden. I played that the other day for like 40 seconds and then turned it off and was like, this is the shittest game ever, and stopped playing it.
It's such a good game.
Shut the fuck up. Anyway, so the people who are in favor of guns, instead of going, I like guns, but we need to make some realistic regulations around guns. Let's fucking make this work. I just go, no, nothing, no infringements on my freedom, and refusing to give any ground or make any changes.
Yeah. And
people on the other side aren't accepting even baby steps in the way of like, let's do this small change. Nope. Ban all guns or nothing.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. I think it's heavier on the conservative side.
Well, yeah. Obviously, I'm just trying to be nice here.
Because there are a lot of people saying, let's just put let's put a mandatory waiting period on guns. Like, and certain parts of the states, I'm sure, like the gun regulations are actually adequate. It's just
the problem is that people go, look at the states where there are gun control. There's still the same amount of gun violence. It shows that gun control doesn't work. The problem is you're in a state which is next to states which have the no gun control, and people can just pass into your state with no border control or anything because it's the same country. You can just wander around. It'd be like if you were in Australia and you fucking made guns perfectly legal no matter what in Sydney, but then everywhere else we kept the same bans. It'd be like people just go to Sydney, buy a gun, leave Sydney, and take it somewhere else.
Load up a van full of firearms and drive it straight across. Take you a couple of days. I'm sure it takes maybe 3 days to drive across.
Full disclosure, though, I would probably just advocate for an outright gun ban.
If you look at,
I would have Australia's policy, whatever the fuck that is.
Australia. This is the thing. This is the interesting
because
thing.
you can still get a gun if you're in a rural population and can justify it for farming, or if you have an ongoing membership in a gun club that you attend. There's a certain amount of points.
You can own a gun. You can own a gun right now.
Elaborate.
All you have to do is tick the boxes to show that you have adequate. I believe you require a gun safe, which is bolted to two different surfaces, which has to meet the Australian regulations. The ammo has to be stored separately to the firearm, I think. You have to meet obviously the background checks and things like that. Like there's a few hoops to jump through, but you can definitely own a firearm. And I think having a reason to own it.
So the requirements here is 18 years or over, judged as a fit and proper person. Not entirely sure how that judgment's made.
It's really subjective.
Has undergone a firearms safety training course, which is probably a good idea because then it's the same licensing that's required for cars.
Yeah.
Because a fucking gun is similarly dangerous to a car, and have provided documentation about the storage arrangements in which they will secure the firearm. But that is worth noting. I can't get a fucking machine gun.
Oh no, you can maximum you can have is a semi-automatic. Yeah. No, not even semi-automatic. Is a.
I think it's a double barrel,
single action rifle. Yeah, so you can have like a bolt action rifle. I think no, you can own a semi-automatic handgun. I'm pretty sure that's perfectly fine. So I think
someone in the comments, by the way, just triggered me. Why can't we get rid of R and have the J show?
Yes.
People seem to really hate me.
Because you're always making Nazi references and triggering people.
Wow.
And saying the word nigger all the time.
Okay, you keep talking. I'm reading about what guns are legal in Australia.
Let's list all the reasons why J is better than R in the comments. And then if I think they're adequate, I'll start my own channel called the J Experience.
God damn, I hate you so much.
And it will essentially just be me bagging out the rational channel. I'll debunk my own stuff.
In Australia, civilians are not allowed to possess automatic and semi-automatic firearms, self-reloading, and pump-action shotguns. Handguns with a caliber in excess of 38 inches with only narrow exemptions. Semi-automatic handguns with a barrel length of less than 120 millimeters, and revolvers with a barrel length of 100 millimeters.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
So there's some heavy restrictions on what kind of guns you can own, and I think that is something I would lapse on, because at the end of the day, like if you're gonna let people have firearms, and it depends what purpose you're gonna let them have it for. And for America, people fucking love their guns. They love, like, you know, how many YouTube channels is there about with like people fucking with doing sport shooting and shit like that. Right? I think that's perfectly fine. I think you should just make a mandatory and ongoing safety regulation. Make people do courses so that they have to meet the requirements of gun safety. That's basically it. So
I think just put Australia's law away. But the problem is there's a difference here. You can't really just throw Australia's law into America, for example. When you have more guns than people, it's kind of a bit far gone at this point.
That's also a massive consideration. Has people listed the reasons why they like me better than you?
No, but someone did ask a question which I actually sing. So what's your response to the criminals don't follow the law, so ban or regulation won't work argument? Well, it's fucking stupid, because it doesn't like that argument. Like, I've heard it a lot, and it doesn't make any sense to go, don't make it. There's no point in regulation because criminals don't follow the law. Well, you know what? 2 points for that. Number one, so by that logic, you have to accept the reverse, which would mean if you made murder legal, the murder rate wouldn't increase, which I guarantee you it would. Like,
yeah. Well,
it's basically just saying
it's like the rape, make rape legal.
Yeah, by that
rapists are going to rape. They're going to rape. They wouldn't be rapists if they didn't.
By that logic, you have to accept the reverse, which is if that making something illegal won't reduce the incidence, then you have to accept any reverse of that, and then you take any law that exists now and say repeal it, and the outcome would be the exact same, which is obviously not the fucking case. Secondly, in Australia, a fucking handgun on the black market is like $33,000.
It's hard to come by guns.
That's very hard to come by guns. So if you have $33,000, I'm pretty sure you're not going to be doing fucking petty crime.
Here's the thing as well. Like, it's the registration of firearms, which I don't think they have as much in America. I don't think it's as heavily regulated.
I'm not sure.
If for instance, if I jumped through all the hoops, got myself a handgun, and someone stole that handgun, I'm liable. Someone steals that handgun and uses it, I'm liable for someone actually having used my weapon. Obviously, I won't get done with the crime if they can prove that if I can prove it wasn't me, but I'm still liable in the fact that I was negligent in letting somebody else get their hands on my weapon. Which I think is a big
safe at all time.
I think that's a big deal, because that means that somebody else is going to take full responsibility for not letting someone else get their hands on their weapons. So you don't get kids passing around fucking rifles and stuff to their mates.
Yeah. The fact, like, and that's bare minimum. Things in the USA, like waiting times behind guns, national registries, bringing licenses in, and things like that. They're all small changes that make sense, and at bare minimum, because another problem is the Nirvana fallacy, which happens, which is where people go, it won't eliminate all gun violence, so don't do any of it. It's like, no, hold on. If you can save thousands of people, you obviously saving thousands of people is worthwhile doing.
Yeah.
Like, you're never going to eliminate all rape, but rape is still illegal, and we still put in policies to try and minimize it. You're never going to eliminate all fucking skin cancer, but we still sell sunscreen and use it. Like, there's just
car accidents.
Car accidents, yeah, exactly. So,
it's everything we do is about minimizing risk, not negating it.
Exactly. I get filled with so much rage when I hear the criminals.
You're offended.
Yeah, I think people in the chat were claiming victory before when I got triggered about them saying, let's do just the J show.
Yes.
Congratulations. I'm so triggered. I'm so
happy.
No, you're not. You're depressed. Kill yourself.
I would if I had a gun.
Yeah. And they're like, you know what? I feel for people as well, because if you're a responsible gun owner, like, responsible gun owners obviously fucking exist. Like,
yeah.
And it's one thing I was talking about the other day to my girlfriend, actually. When people complain about bureaucracy, so I work on academic staff and I do research, so I have to deal with ridiculous amounts of bureaucracy.
Yeah.
And the bureaucracy seems like a real barrier. Like, when I've put through my my studies, and I've dealt with the ethics board now, which I've dealt with for three different occasions, they have never provided me with feedback that was beneficial to maximizing the safety of participants. They've never provided a single bit of feedback that would aid that or do what their purpose was. However, I'm good at my job, and not everybody is good at their job. And I know for a fact there are multiple people who I've met who the ethics board did make significant changes to theirs and make it safer. So I wouldn't go, the ethics board didn't help me. Ethics board should be abolished, because I understand that everything has to peg to the lowest common denominator.
Yeah.
You have to operate as though everybody is going to act as bad as they possibly can. You just have to assume it, because you can't start exempting people from these laws or from these things. So, like, say I went, you know what? I should be exempt from ethics research. If I was, I'd probably have a fine career. I probably wouldn't get any Jews or do anything crazy like that. It'd be fine. But the fact of the matter is, how do you then define who gets to be exempt from the laws? Because someone has to pick that, and then there has to be ways to decide that, and it's not effective. Now, they did recently instill this second ethics committee, which was specifically for radiation and biosafety and stuff. And I complained about that because it was a huge hindrance and it didn't provide anything extra than the ethics department did. So now it was just needless bureaucracy with no potential benefit. So again, it was a cost-benefit analysis. I've decided that the drawback of having this ethics department slowing me down is worth it for what it can prevent.
Yeah.
But then this second ethics department wasn't worth it, which incidentally they've actually shut it down now, because I was the first person to go through it, and it cost me 2.5 months. It took off my PhD because I just couldn't. I was dealing with them for months, and they were just so incompetent, it was ridiculous. And then we used me as an example of why it shouldn't exist, and then they closed it down.
You made history.
Well, no, I really just got fucked by bureaucracy, and I was the only person to get fucked by it. You're a shit at your job. What? Who do you think you are, Jay or something? You know what? Hold on. Jay, you can keep talking.
I love this banter.
Fuck you.
I will be fair though. I'm definitely a better scientist than I am, considering I'm not actually a scientist. And I don't work in academia. Just looking at memes.
I'm not looking at memes.
This is why people prefer me over you, because you just...
Fuck you.
You're obsessed with the memes.
Fuck you. I dab on my haters.
fucking dabbing.
Adjust your mixer. Jay is coming through my left speaker. What? I can't see why.
Isn't that... Didn't we had a request to try and change that, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Did you mess around with it?
No, I didn't. I didn't touch it. So, I don't know. It says it's going out equally. If anybody else is dealing with pan issues, let me know. But I'm just going to pretend it didn't happen. Man, I need to piss. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go pee and leave you.
All
So
right.
people
It's gonna be dead silence for the
people finally get the J show.
what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the mic and just put it by the door so people can hear you piss.
I actually
And then I'm gonna pitch the Patreon benefits while they listen to you piss.
Okay, someone said England is my city. That's a spicy meme. That's dank.
I don't get that reference.
Nick Crompton, this dude who's a rapper, in one of his lines said England is my city,
Okay.
neglecting that England was a country.
I thought that was a bit of a weird statement. I thought maybe there was some logic behind that.
Oh, the poor man's Jay. Fuck. Man, I got to dab on my fucking haters.
Keep them coming in. I'm fucking loving these.
No, I'm going to go
These are so
pee.
good.
I'm triggered now. I'm
Alright.
leaving. You can chat to them about
I-
fucking... You can talk to in the chat. You talk about memes.
Talk about memes.
Tell a joke.
I don't have any fucking good jokes. I don't remember jokes. If you're looking for offensive jokes, I recommend Jimmy Carr. He's fucking good. But I'll try and stay on the topic of gun control. It's weird not having someone's face to throw my anger at. But the Australian, one thing we have to remember is we can't actually look at the Australian law and look at the success of the gun regulation in Australia and then try and translate that straight back to America, which is what a lot of people do. I've seen so many things on Facebook, on YouTube, and saying, look how great Australia's gun control has been, how successful it's been. But when you've got 300 million guns in a country, Australia's population is a little over 20 million. And when the gun regulation came in, was it nearly 20 years ago? Actually, I think it was about 20 years ago. We picked up maybe less than 30,000 firearms were returned. So you've got like maybe a very small fraction of the population with firearms to begin with, versus America, where a very, very large population of the very, very large volume of the population has multiple firearms, who are very likely not going to return them. So you can't simply just do a retraction of firearms. But having said that, I think implementing regulations now will have benefits in the future. I think starting with some minor changes right now will have a significant effect maybe 30 years down the track, 20 years down the track.
Yeah.
So
well, that's a good point. Like, it doesn't have to yield outcomes right now. It should do some, but if it's like we can implement these things and in 30 years from now, the gun problem will be borderline resolved, then you got to start somewhere. Like,
well, I think the
there is an effective way to end all gun violence, though, which is destroy all humans on the planet.
Yeah.
No gun violence.
Well, if the guns don't kill people, people kill people with guns.
God fucking damn it! Like that, God.
How fucked is it? Is it working?
That's fine.
Alright.
That's fine.
Just fucking around with my mic. Yeah, that's that. You know what? You know what offends me? When people say guns don't kill people. That fucking offends me, because it's so fucking stupid. It's like it's so undermining to someone's intelligence when you say that. It's like saying spoons don't feed people. People feed people. but they do it more efficiently with spoons. It's so fucking stupid. Like, yes, you can kill people, but I guarantee if I tried to eat soup with my fucking hands, I'm not going to be I'm not going to be doing it as efficiently as if I had a spoon. Like, it's such reductionist logic. It pisses me off. I'm officially offended. I offended myself.
Wow. I guess that the chat doesn't get to claim victory for that. But yeah, so I really don't think an outright ban in the USA.
Yeah. Was it Salvador Espinoza says, realistically accounting for the power of gun manufacturers and the fact guns are popular and a lot of people have them, regulating guns would be the best course of action.
I agree.
I 100% agree. I think it's a really, really complex issue in America. Like I was saying before, like Australia was a fairly simple issue, because you do
relatively compared to America.
Yeah, you do like a recall on firearms, and people turn in their firearms
in exchange for sweet, cold hard cash.
Yeah, and you know that was economically viable, and it was practical because there weren't that many. Relatively wasn't that many guns, but in America you can't do that. So even if you start implementing these regulations for a long time, there's going to be a lot of firearms circulating around which don't meet the regulations. So it's, you know, at this point, do you say, is America too far gone?
I don't think anything's ever too far gone. It's just it's going to take longer to fix.
Yeah, I think, and this is an interesting thing because when going back to the bureaucracy, a lot of politicians will do things which benefit them during their time. So if how long was Obama in power? 8 years?
Yep.
So if Obama had implemented gun regulations at the start of his presidency, he probably wouldn't see many benefits. Probably wouldn't see any benefits during his entire time, and people would say he was a complete failure and that his regulations didn't work. But the reality is, it's probably 50 odd years down the track before there's going to be a significant change.
So I'm not sure he ever actually passed anything, though.
Probably not.
I don't think he made any changes. He did one executive order at the end of his career, which then just got shot down.
Yeah, but the point being is that a lot of people won't make a lot of politicians rather won't put effort into making significant changes or even minor changes that are unpopular. They won't push the unpopular positions unless it reflects positively on them and their career. So I reckon it's going to be hard pressed to get a politician who's going to look at the long term and make those minor changes. They're gonna try and appeal to the.
I've got a friend who just completed his. It was a while back. He completed a double PhD in political science and economics. So he's a joy to talk to. No, but I asked him about the
party.
When I chat to him about this, he said that governments really only exist on electoral cycle roles. Yeah. And which is one of the reasons why it's very hard to get long-term funding for things outside of the length of how long the government's going to be in, which is like a problem in Australia when the federal government's only in for 3 years. Yeah. So the federal government then takes 6 months to set up its cabinet and get everything going. So it's basically just got 2.5 years, which means the Australian federal government has a real problem of passing very short-term regulations and effort. So it's not ideal because they just don't think long-term, because if you do something that's not going to pay off now, but it's going to pay off in 30 years, people aren't going to attribute that to you. Yeah, people don't give a fuck. You're going to gain nothing, but you're just going to make society better. Yeah. Which is realistically what your job should be as a public servant. But the fact of the matter is, if you're getting elected, you're getting more of that cash, son. So, well, I think marriage equality in Australia is a good
good one at the moment. I reckon it's going to be used as a campaigning point for campaigning tool for the next election. So
unless they deal with it before then.
But why would you? Why would you do it then when you can just say, wait for the election to come up and promise it?
Well, no, but the problem is that because I'm pretty sure the plebiscite's going to win.
Yeah.
Yes is going to win. Sorry. Purely because the polling now, they did exit polling on some people. A sample of 5,500 people showed that 67% of people had returned it and voted yes. 13% had returned it and voted no. And like 6% were going to return it and vote yes. And 3% were going to return it and vote no.
Yeah.
Like the polling was, again, like all of the other polls that have existed, were just disproportionately, these anonymous polls as well, disproportionately showing that yes was going to win. Now, as well, the Australian Bureau of Statistics released the basic information about the returns, and they've said that so far already, I think it was 65% of all Australians have voted in it, and that no, sorry, I think it was 52% of all Australians have voted in it. But also, 62% of young people have already voted. So young people are disproportionately voting on this now.
Yeah.
Which young people are obviously going to disproportionately vote yes. So I think it's clearly going to win. And if the government doesn't implement this before the next election, I think they're just going to look really incompetent. That they had this postal survey, so they wanted to have a plebiscite. They couldn't get the plebiscite. So then everyone was like, just fucking do a free vote. And they were like, no, let's do a postal survey, which they ended up setting up. And then if they get the outcome of yes, and then they don't do anything about it, it's just another step of incompetence. Yeah. I think imagine what Labour's going to be able to just ream them with if they haven't passed it by then. If Liberal haven't passed same-sex marriage by the election, they'll definitely lose the next election.
You know what's going to be hilarious as well?
What?
Is that if they do pass it before the next election, they'll be using it as a standing point for the next election, saying, look how awesome we are. We're past marriage equality.
It's like, yeah, reluctantly.
Yeah. After being pushed into the corner. J is the brains of the operation. R is more like the field vagina.
Fetid vagina.
Oh, the fetid vagina. Sorry, I couldn't read that.
It's not good. But anyway,
fetid vagina.
So I think same-sex marriage is probably they'd probably turn it around quite quickly. But sorry, I was just having a bit of a twitch. Like I hope they turn it around quite quickly, because really this is just an unbelievably fucking stupid topic for us to be having, for us to be constantly debating about. But that is coming from someone who made 2 videos attacking the flat Earth. So, you know,
I just want to address some points that have been coming up about the gun control.
No.
So a couple of people have said it, but David Lass, if you want a legal ban, then you need to legally define the group of people that should be denied gun rights. It's real simple. Pass the tests. You know, if you meet the requirements, then you are eligible for firearms. Yeah, it's just regulation.
Instead of ban, I think they're actually having an argument that was started a while back, so you might just be taking something out of context. I'm pretty sure one of the other people in the comments said not all gun owners don't need to be stopped from having guns, just certain ones. And then they're saying you need to define it. But
missed the start of that.
There's someone who says Australia is mandatory voting, right? Yeah, Australia does have compulsory voting, but not in this postal survey.
This is not a vote. It's just a survey.
Yep.
Which is a completely pointless thing, because we've had how many online?
Well, every poll since 2007, except for like ones conducted on the coalitionformarriage.com, has shown that the public are in favour of same-sex marriage. So, and the best poll in Australia easily would be the Essential Vision poll. Its track record is absolutely stellar.
Yeah.
It's basically very accurately predicted you can almost definitely predict the outcomes of the election, any election in Australia, by just looking at the Essential poll the week before. So, and that one, it's passed 4 polls it's done with the same-sex marriage question have all said yes. So the fact of the matter is, it clearly is just the Liberal government stalling because the problem is that half of the government is, probably around half, is are more moderate conservatives.
Yeah.
And the other half are like old school fucking people like Erica Betts who say that abortion isn't needed because the body, if it's raped, will actually just not get pregnant.
I love our politics.
He legit claimed that. He legit claimed
I remember that.
Yeah, like it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like
there are so many like old men in the Australian politics. They've passed their use by date. They're running with fucking 19 fucking 80s.
Did you see Bill Shorten rap?
Do I want to see Bill Shorten rap? I don't think I do.
Oh man. Oh man. I don't know. Fuck. If I play this, the problem is it's just gonna fuck with the mics. But I'll put headphones in.
Okay.
So I gotta do this, man. I gotta do this. It's gonna be great. Just hold the fuck on.
Okay, so
you talk for a couple of minutes. Like I said.
A comment about same-sex marriage. Salvador Espinoza, how do you feel about people saying the bill to allow same-sex marriage also has things in it to limit the freedom of speech people have in Australia?
It doesn't. I've read the bill.
Yeah,
I've actually got the bill.
There you go. There's a lot of people
in Australia. One thing I do want to point out. In Australia, sorry for talking over you, Jared.
No, go.
I think you know the point I'm about to make, and you'd probably want me to make it. In Australia, there's actually a great deal of protections for marriage celebrants in that you can actually refuse to marry an interracial couple if you don't want to. If you go, I don't like them jiggaboos, you legally can do it. The fact of the matter is, if you do it, someone's just going to Facebook shame you and your whole business is going to shut down. So it's written into that law specific sections that say not only can religious institutions refuse to marry same-sex couples, marriage celebrants with no religious affiliations and just personally don't like it can also refuse to do it. There's absolutely no infringement on someone's liberty inside that law. Like, it's as fucking clean cut as you get it. And that's one of the things... It's insane, and it's just people going, I want it's things like them claiming that safe schools is part of the same-sex marriage.
There's a lot of like far left things that have been attached to marriage equality, and it's because obviously the far left is pushing so hard for marriage equality that they attribute a lot of these things like safe schools, which is I'm not sure what you call it, like a program that's aimed at inclusiveness in schools and getting kids to wear fucking dresses and shit like that. It's absolute bullshit. I hate all of that crap, but it has absolutely nothing to do with marriage equality. It has zero to fucking do with it. It's happening right now. We have no marriage equality in Australia for same-sex couples, and it's already happening. What like, if you piss off the majority of the population and push them further to the left, you're going to get more shit like safe schools. The best thing to do is make the gays feel included, so they don't kick up a fuss as much as some of them have been. And it's you know.
Apparently, Baring's voting no because of concerns over freedom of speech.
Because Baring is a fucking retard.
Oh no!
Baring, I would, dude. Me and you would tear the shit out of Baring.
What the fuck? Why are you starting shit with Baring?
I love his videos, but he's literally just a meme. Like,
fact of the matter is, if he does believe that it's going to do anything like that, then he's just wrong. You can download the bill online. One of my friends in my office, or one of my colleagues in my office, I was like, I want to see the bill, and he lifts up a bunch of papers and pulls it out and hands it to me. He goes, you can get it online and show me where to get it.
Yeah.
Like, you can literally just read the whole bill. It's actually written really well because it maintains the current laws, which allow you to deny you can deny anybody a private marriage license. If you're a celibate, you can deny them for any reason. Catholics, have they been divorced? You can deny them. You're not religious, so you're not a Christian and you want to get married in my church? No. Those reasons already exist. So I don't know what it means in terms of free speech. Like, what can it even change? What's it even going to affect? Like, what can't you say when same-sex couples are allowed to get married?
Yeah.
The freedom of speech implied in Australia is still, it's the same. The law has there's nothing written in the law about speech.
Yeah. I'm far more concerned in terms of freedom of speech about things like anti-discrimination on religious grounds, things like that, like where you can't speak out against religion. I know there actually isn't not really any concern for them at the moment because the way the only issue I find is that they're worded slightly vague so that somebody could basically claim discrimination just by being offended at something. So if you say something that is deemed offensive to a religious person, they could claim discrimination. It's hard to prove. Like, it's not. I'm not worried about getting done for discrimination by calling out a Muslim on their beliefs or any other religion for that matter. But that's something that's far more concerning to freedom of speech than marriage equality.
I would point out that I obviously don't know what Bearing's specific concern is.
Yeah,
I'll obviously have to watch that video. We couldn't even fucking watch this video.
I'm not going to tear into him based on what somebody said in the comments. But
no, I don't know.
In general, Bearing's
I don't know what his argument is about. But if his argument is anything related to what I've talked about, then it's just misinformation.
Yeah, but
which is actually impressive that the no side has managed to muddy that up enough that people can
really.
A lot of people like the free speech argument is really where they're falling down to. Which it's smart, like it's dishonest as fuck and it's not accurate. But if you're just solely trying to win, in the same sense that if I was in a fight to the death with you, it would be smart for me to kick you in the dick. It wouldn't be honorable, but
it's a good tactic.
Like, yeah, it's effective.
It's effective, yeah.
All right, let's watch Bill Shorten fucking dab on his haters. Honestly, this is. Hopefully, I don't blow your ears out when I play this, but. I actually can't believe how fucking crazy this is. All right, here we go. I hope this is the video. Why the fuck is it 5 minutes? We're not.
Woolies kid-sized fruit. Easier for tiny hands to handle with 5 pieces in every pack. Now, who wants to swap? Helping Aussie kids become fresh food kids. That's why I pick Woolies.
Alright, let's do this, Bill. Okay. You're going to be going first. It is 50 Cent into club. You ready to go, Bill?
Yo, yeah, as ready as I'll ever be.
Let's go!
Yo.
Got it, Bill. Come on, Bill. Bring it home.
I'm Bill Shorten. I'm head of my pack. The Sydney Swans go Fitzy the sack. Whipper's not bad, but just a waste of my time. You boys will be crying by the end of my rhyme. Each day I listen to you fellas whinge and whine. I'd rather go to question time with Christopher Pine. Our economy's in debt, but Malcolm's just chilling. Hey Malcolm, can you lend us a couple of million? Will I rap again? It's anyone's guess, but there's more chance of Tony Abbott voting yes. I've nailed the rap, I'm the cat, you're the mouse. The tables have turned, well now it's Shorten's house.
That was incredible.
Oh. To be fair to him, it was pretty funny.
I think that was pretty. That was far better than I was expecting.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's cringe. It's cringe as fuck. but it was pretty funny. Like,
when someone does something cringy but fully commits to it, it's almost not cringy. Like it's basically just. That was good. I'm gonna give him props for that because that was.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty funny. I enjoyed it.
I would have been far more impressed if he freestyled it, but
yeah. Well,
what are you gonna do?
It's the fucking. probable future Prime Minister of Australia. I don't think there's any reason to believe he's fucking doing that. But
you know, America has some interesting presidents, but I think we've got some pretty good prime ministers. Who's the one who always chugs the beer?
what?
Wish I paid more.
I'm just thinking of Tony Abbott eating the raw onion. Thinking it.
Oh my god!
Someone in the chat, that was upsetting. It's not great. Let's be real. Like, it's pretty fucking cringe. But you know, I don't even know when I listen to something like that. I don't even know what to fucking do. Like, it's just so cringy. Hey, what happens if I do this and I press play ad?
Wait, what? Don't do it.
Don't do it.
We don't know what's gonna happen. Don't do it.
I'm gonna do it.
Don't do it.
Hey guys,
Don't do it. No.
enjoy the ad.
Wait. Why are you doing this?
I don't know. I just press playing ad.
Is anything happening?
It says just keep talking. I assume some of our viewers are seeing an ad right now.
Why would you do this?
I don't know. I need the cash.
So now the podcast is just gonna be us spamming you guys with ads.
Yeah, every 2 seconds, just press
because
ad.
we need that. We desperately need that, like $1.50.
Well, basically every single one of our videos got demonetized. So
yeah,
at least 3/4 of them.
Did you figure out any reason why that might have happened?
No. It just seemed to have happened. It just seems a bot found the channel and just went bonkers on it. And anything with something like any title with feminism in it, any title with religion in it, any title with like anything that could even be perceived as political.
Any like buzzwords or anything?
Yeah, it was just flagged. And the problem is I can't actually RJ is selling out. I'm gonna play another fucking ad then. No,
don't do it.
Just sit there spamming. No, so I well fuck, what was I gonna say? Jay, what was I saying?
Wow. You were saying we got hit with the bots that demonetize our videos for
but I can't appeal them either.
Really?
Yeah, because they only accept appeals for videos that generate more than 1,000 views in the last 7 days.
Oh.
Then none of our videos get that kind of viewership. So
well, then that's kind of pointless to appeal.
No, because it builds up, man.
I suppose when it
builds up.
We lost a large portion of those videos.
Our monetization, like, we don't make a lot of money, but we made enough to buy a
some software.
Super chats.
Oh, that's hey, that's $2.
That's like fucking 4 Australian, man. No.
Yeah. I'm actually so happy. Thank you, David Netling.
Netty. David.
I don't want to mispronounce your name now. Thanks, David.
So what you've earned is 1 blowjob. Now you can pick whether R or J does it. You don't get to know who's likely better at it. You just have to guess.
I'm ginger, so you know I'm going to be terrible at it. So
Jesus
just FYI.
You know, but won't you be craving human contact? Because like, not even your own mom's willing to hug you.
I'll take my share of the $2 to a peep show. Well, there's $2 peep shows. Well, that's $1 buys me a $2 peep show in Australia.
What's crazy is that peep shows exist even though there's Pornhub.
Yeah, but it's not. You're not in the moment. You don't have the stickiness on the floor, the weird smells in the room.
Wow.
I'm assuming this. I've never actually been to a $2 peep show. I wouldn't go in there with anything less than like a raincoat and gloves.
A raincoat and gloves. I remember when I went.
We're so off track now. I'm just so stoked that someone gave us $2 American.
It's actually,
I would. You know what I'd love is just to have the American currency, actually, because our currency is so gay.
Dude, our money is both waterproof, fireproof, and tearproof. American money is literally just paper.
That's true.
I remember when they gave me some of it at the airport because you have to like fucking like pay that bribe when you go through Bali, which now has become official for some reason. It's really crazy.
Yeah.
That like $50 US. I had US money and I was like, this is literally paper. Like, What the fuck?
Like, it's all green. Like, it looks like the movie money.
Well, in Australia, you just have to make sure you get
$100 bill.
$100 bills.
But $100 bills are so massive, it's ridiculous. Question for Americans: Is all your paper money the same size bills?
Yes.
Okay, so you know that.
Yeah. Because I remember sitting in the airport and being like, "Oh, all these bills are the same size." I mean, how weirded out about it.
That's one of the things that pisses me off about Australian currency. Why do you need different size bills when they're all significantly different in appearance? Like, to distinguish between them, like it pisses me off because I put like a 50 in my wallet.
Vending
it's like
machines,
significantly bigger than a 20.
Vending machines, bro. Makes it easy for vending machines to know.
That's actually a good point. That's actually a really good point.
Yeah, for automatic transactions.
God damn the fucking vending machines.
See, I told you, man.
I feel like we should be taking requests for
topics
for money. We should be whoring ourselves out.
Oh fuck! I'll do anything for money, except most stuff.
Except what? Except what stuff?
Most stuff.
Except most stuff.
We actually should start talking about
JNR, the Beavis and Butthead of podcasting. Thank you. Oh wait, that's a question mark. Wait.
I don't know. It depends how you're defining it. If you're defining it the ability to maintain a good podcast, the fact that I'm doing the stream over Wi-Fi right now demonstrates that that's probably true. But if you're doing it over like our intelligence once the podcast has started, then
I'd imagine we're at least better than Bering.
In what?
In
intelligence or setting up a stream? He's almost definitely better at setting up streams.
Oh, he's phenomenal at setting up the stream and editing videos and shit like that. But
man, you really got it in for Bering today.
I like Bering, and I have a love-hate relationship with Bering because I laugh a lot of his videos, but I look at it and think, wow, he really doesn't put that much effort into his arguments.
Well,
and he always argues with just absolute fucking twits.
We made flat earth videos, man.
Dude, we've had some decent people on our podcast today.
I invited.
You invited who?
That doesn't matter. But what I was going to say is, I'm going to try and get someone on for the next one.
Yeah. I want some intellectual stimulation. Not that you're not intellectually stimulating. In fact, that is exactly what I'm saying.
Someone says, give them their address and they'll send me some American money.
Oh,
or
yeah.
you.
Oh, yeah. I'll give him Bill Shorten's address.
I don't want Bill Shorten to have money. Why the fuck
he
would I want
deserves
that?
it for that rap.
I know, like...
But let's be realistic. It's probably not going to be money that arrives.
Hopefully it's dick pics.
That would be hilarious. Especially see on the news, it's just like Channel 7 says, does a report on all the dick pics sent to Bill Shorten.
Somehow ends up costing him the election. I remember when the last election, federal election, that Bill Shorten ate a hot dog wrong and then he dropped like half a point in the exit polls afterwards and he almost definitely lost the election.
And how would you like to make... Is that one? That's not even 1 cent. That's 0.1 of a cent. 0.001 cent. 1 cent.
It depends how much effort's required.
You have to sing "I'm a Little Teapot."
Okay, I tell you what I'll do. People can, if enough people say they want me to do it, I'll do it.
I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here is my handle. Here is my spout. I don't remember the rest of the song.
When something, hear me shout. God damn it! Are we really doing this?
I can't believe I can't remember the whole teapot song.
Well, what do you expect? The only thing I know I know two things off by heart, which is one.
Someone says I'm betting or I'm netting Bering has a Southern Cross tattoo. It would not surprise me. He sounds pretty ochre.
A few things I know off by heart. One is Fuck, what is it? What am I saying? Oh, yeah. One is an old 70s Pepsi ad for some reason. Lip smacking, thirst quenching, ace tasting, motivating, good buzzing, cool, tucking, hard working, fast living, ever giving, cool, fizzing Pepsi.
Never do that again. I have to say that's impressive, though.
That advert came out before I was born, yet I know all the words to it.
Fucking hell.
Because my mom knew all the words to it and always used to tell it to me. Secondly, I know, voila. In view, a humble vaudevillian veteran cast vicariously as both victim and villain by the vicissitudes of fate. This visage, no mere veneer of vanity, is a vestige of the vox populi, now vacant, vanished. However, this valorant visitation of a bygone vexation stands vivified and has vowed to vanquish these virulent vanguarding, vouchsafing, violently, violation of volition. Verily, this vicious was. Oh no, fuck! I fucked it up because there's a bit in the bit that's like, verily, this vicious. No, the only verdict is vendetta. Fuck me! I used to know this whole thing. The only verdict is the only verdict. No, the only verdict is vendetta.
Vengeance, is it?
No, it's a vendetta. Act of vengeance. Hell, fuck! No! Oh!
You can blow people's ears out. No! That was pretty good. If anyone,
man, I knew it for so long.
If anyone doesn't know, that was a reference to V for Vendetta. That's one of my favorite movies of all time.
I can't believe I didn't get it.
He's pretty much collapsed on the floor now.
Oh! God damn it!
I'll give you props. That was a good effort. That was a good effort.
Fuck!
Give it up, man. Let it go.
No. I'm looking it up. God damn it! But this doesn't count. This doesn't count, man. Now because I'm looking at it. God damn it! I actually can't believe how angry I am right now.
I can't believe how much of it you got.
Fuck you. The vicissitudes of fate. This visage, no mere veneer of vanity, is a vestige of the vox populi, now vacant, vanished. However, this is a valorous visitation of a bygone vexation, stands vivified, and has vowed to vanquish these venal and virulent vermin, vanguarding vice and vouchsafing the violently vicious and voracious violation of volition. Here it is, the bit that I forget. The only verdict is vengeance, a vendetta, held as a votive, not in vain for the value and veracity that shall one day vindicate the vigilant and the virtuous. And then I'm not looking at it now. Verily, this vicious was most verbose. May I simply add that it's my name is V. Fuck! God damn it. Verily, I simply add that it's my very good honor to meet you, and you may call me V. Are you like a crazy person? I'm quite sure they will say so.
Yeah,
I can't believe how much I failed.
I can't believe how worked up you got over that.
You don't understand. You don't understand how long I spent learning that.
I can tell by the fact that you alliterated so many times in a short period of time, in a short space, without stumbling. That shit was impressive. More so than
when I was in high school, we played it, and I was like, I'm going to learn this by 2 days from now when we watch it again. And then I learned the whole thing and freaked everyone out in class. And then everyone was like, wow, you're autistic. Autism!
That was actually pretty impressive.
My failure...
There we go. This visage, no mere veneer of vanity, is a vestige of vox populi.
The vox populi, now vacant, vanished. However, this verilous visitation of a bygone vexation
stands vivified and has vowed to vanquish these.
Yeah. So basically, it's fucking crazy. I'm upset that I don't know it anymore, though. I guess I can skip to lips like a thirst quenching, aesthetic, motivating, good buzzing, cool, tucking, how wicked, fast living, ever give me cool visit Pepsi.
What were we talking about before we got into these random rhymes?
Oh, Jesus Christ, I forgot we're actually like supposed to be doing shit. I wonder if anybody's even still 11 people. Yeah, they're starting to drop out.
This is because you went off on your fucking your vendetta.
Hey. Stop. Stop picking on me.
Let's get back on topic. What were we talking about?
I don't fucking know. What's our next topic? People in the chat say words so I can decide on what the next topic is and ignore everything you say and then decide something arbitrarily. What? No, you were just shitting on Bearing.
Oh, is that all I was doing?
I think so.
No, that was just in passing. But yeah, no, Bearing. No, but like, I can't shit on him too much because I actually watch some of his videos. Not that there's anything gained from them. It's literally just him making fun of people I already knew were stupid.
That is one thing from the few of his videos I've watched. I never really found they added much. Like some of them, I was actually surprised he didn't get. He did. I remember watching some of his stuff about 7 News, which I totally agreed with him. It was crazy some of the stuff they were doing, but he was pretty much just showing their videos verbatim and then doing like a sentence commentary at the end and ending it. I was like, man, how are you not getting pegged for copyright issues for that? Like, I don't know whether it counts as fair use. Like, you really need to break it up. And
he's the weirdest success story on YouTube, I reckon. Well, because he plagiarized his avatar completely, and then got done for it, but then managed to recover. He basically doesn't really do anything except play other people's videos and then do some, like, in earlier days he put more effort in, and he was some actual like comedic value in him.
What about Rice Gum?
Rice Gum.
He's the dude that Rice Gum. He's this dude who just idubbbz did his the latest content cop on, and just like idubbbz occasionally just does he does these content cops where he just fucking demolishes someone. It was actually really fun to watch. Like, he just shat and like he did this one which was content cop Jake Paul, or one of the other guys, I forget what it was.
Yeah.
And he opens it and he goes, but this isn't actually on Jake Paul. It's on Asian Jake Paul, and pulls up this Rice Gum and just like proceeds to just destroy him. The dude loses like 50,000 subscribers in a day.
Really?
And he made this like fucking battle rap at the end. Like, idubbbz basically just destroys people's channels using content cop.
Come for us, idubbbz. I'd be so happy if idubbbz just destroyed our channel.
Well, I don't think we'd do anything that really pisses him off though.
No, but I just want him. I just want some attention from idubbbz because he's hilarious.
Does that make Jay the rich man's bearing?
I think that's fair. Yeah.
So
I'm rich now that I got $2 American. Thank you, David. Nettie. How do you pronounce your last name?
He's a great guy. idubbbz wrecked the little Asian boy. Yeah, idubbbz did mess him up pretty bad. It's actually worth watching.
What's the MythCon debacle? What's that?
I don't know. Oh, fucking MythCon. Yeah. I believe it's that thing where Sargon and Armored Skeptic and Shion Head were supposed to go and speak at this MythCon thing, and then a bunch of people got pissed off and started trying to get it shut down and shit. I might be thinking of something else though.
Just give it a quick search.
Yeah, but it's not gonna come up. We're gonna have to look at YouTube shit.
Just Google it. If does anyone give us like a quick sentence description of what the MythCon thing is, so we can actually look it up, because I have no idea what it is.
Yeah, because like it's just coming up with MythCon, but like, was that the thing that said that they didn't want Richard Dawkins there?
Oh, is that? That was a while ago, wasn't it?
There was a newer one as well. You're probably gonna need to keep talking, so I have to read shit.
Just getting Sorry, just reading the comments.
Yeah, this is the one with Sargon. This is Sargon. Yeah, so Sargon, Shion Head, and Armored Skeptic were going to be at it. Then people got all butthurt and started saying that, you know, cancel everything, burn it all down, all that classic shit of like, we don't want people to speak who don't agree with us.
Oh, okay.
It's basically just it's a standard deplatforming people issue.
Here's the thing about platforms. Platforms, I essentially look at platforms like a marketplace, right? If you have an audience, right, and you're trying to provide something to that audience on your platform, essentially what YouTube does, you've got to look at what is popular and what people want. And if most of your audience says we don't want these people here, fine, that's all right. There's nothing stopping those people who get rejected from that platform finding another platform or starting one of their own. And I think that's fine, because there is no monopoly on platforms, especially now we have the internet, and YouTube is such a massive thing. Like, the reason a lot of those people have any kind of audience at all is because of YouTube, because they have access to a massive platform. So I really don't give a shit about people getting deplatformed. I think it just destroys the integrity of the platform itself. For instance, TED Talks. I used to love fucking TED Talks. Every time I saw a TED thing pop up on my feed, I thought, oh, I'm gonna learn some shit today. Until fucking TEDx just went off the fucking rails with letting any cunt just spout unsubstantiated bullshit about their personal feelings and their own worldview about. But that's what TED wants to do, and they're perfectly fucking able to do that. But now I just don't pay attention to TED Talks as much, so they damaged their own platform. But whether they benefited in the long run through increased video production and getting to a wider audience, don't know. But ultimately, whatever they decide to do, whatever any platform owner decides to do, should be up to them.
I think they have the right to do whatever they want, but they should, in good faith, try to maintain the nature of freedom of expression.
Well, we did that video on free speech, which basically talked about that. It's like when you've got massive platforms like Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, when they deplatform someone, when they start regulating who can say what on their websites, that has a massive effect, because they don't have a monopoly, but they do have a massive impact on who gets to see those things, because there is only a limited number of those types of platforms, and they reach so many people. Yeah,
Nazis are cool. Full circle. So, did you want to talk about this Patreon we were thinking of doing?
Yeah, we probably should talk about it at some point.
Yeah, we should get some feedback on it. So, what we're trying to do, because there's just a number of things we want to do with the channel, in that, firstly, I'm trying to motivate Jay to actually fucking edit videos, because he's a piece of shit. Secondly, there's things like some upgrades for this computer we want to buy. I also want to start a hosting service for the podcast, so it can actually go on things like Stitcher and everything like that, which I think is definitely worth doing. So what we're trying to do to cover the regular costs of things like that, because when you have a channel that's small and shitty like ours, you don't really make a lot when it comes to AdSense.
Especially when you get all your videos demonetized.
Yeah, especially this week when fucking 3/4 of the videos get demonetized because it has the word feminism in it. It's like, okay, dicks. But
that's how I felt for clickbaiting.
We have the least clickbaity titles as well, which is why we fucking haven't grown. Like, we should just do all caps titles, like PewDiePie is a cunt.
We should be Bearing. We should just become Bearing.
Why you? God damn, you're gonna start shit with Bearing.
I fucking hate Bearing.
God damn it.
No, genuinely, I don't have any that much dislike for him. I hate the fact that he's so successful for doing so little. That's what I hate. Which is nothing against him, because if I had this channel, I'd be doing exactly the same thing he's fucking doing.
Really, you wouldn't just continue our content, but on that platform?
No, because what he's doing is successful. Is making him shitloads of money, so he can't stop doing that. If he did what he was doing, what we're doing, he would lose subs. Because obviously, what we're doing isn't gaining that many subs as much as he is. So he would lose money. So why would you do something that's going to lose you money when it is your livelihood?
So basically, we're wasting our time, is what you're telling me.
No. We should just mold the channel slowly into Bearing. I'll slowly just start editing the silhouettes to become bears.
I really think you might start some internet drama now.
I hope so.
God damn it.
What's Bearing going to do? He's going to rip on us for what? Having intellectual discussions about stuff. If he wants to debate us about something, because I'm more than happy to.
What?
If Bearing wants to debate us, I'm more than
What's
happy.
he going to fucking debate us on? He's just going to go, you guys don't like my channel.
The thing is, I agree with him on most stuff, so I wouldn't be much to debate. Maybe we could debate about same-sex marriage if he votes no.
So basically, we set up this. We're setting up this Patreon account here, which I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if anybody's actually going to donate to it or anything, but basically, with a couple of things with this, we're looking to put it as so per video. So we've actually been pretty good with doing a video every 2 weeks now, but we still put it at per video just so that, you know, best case, like, well, worst or best case, depends how you look at it, you'll end up putting however much for 2 videos per month, because we're not going to do more than that or charge more than that. I discuss all those things on the channel. I'll probably just make this live, actually. And then just adjust it afterwards, because it's probably worth making this live. But do you want to talk a bit about why you think it's good at why? If you were trying to tell people what...
Trying to sell the Patreon?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, listen up, guys. So, if you want me to kill R, all you have to do is cover the expenses of the rigmarole it takes to go buy a gun, because I can't beat him in single combat. Or they could probably kill him in his sleep.
Depends what kind of single combat, though.
I don't know.
If we both have weapons, then my odds go down. Hand to hand, it's pretty good. Not right now, because I just had fucking facial surgery.
Just poke you in the nose and you didn't go down.
You just fucking yeah. Like I would get rickety wrecked. Like, oh, actually, I'd probably just get my nose instantly broken and then be like, God damn it,
it's back to normal now.
Yeah, it's back to normal. But like, worst thing you could do is make it normal again. But yeah. If you have weapons, my chance drastically goes down.
If you guys want to see some more interesting stuff on this channel, and you guys want to have more of a say in what happens with the channel, because we really want to we want to up the discourse. We want to have more conversations with you guys, and be more interactive on the channel in general. And Patreon is a way that you guys can help us do that. So, if you're interested, check out some of the rewards. Have you gone through the rewards?
No. So basically, what I've set up is I've actually set up a Discord server, because I've used Discord a bit. I think Discord is pretty cool. So a lot of these rewards levels right now are based on this Discord server and things that we're going to do with this Discord server. That being said, if anybody has any ideas for other Patreon rewards they would like, definitely let us know. Most people seem to be asking how much it is for us to either fight to death or for me to just die. It'd have to be a lot. But the point is, like, I do want to point out that with the Patreon, the primary thing is just to support the channel, not necessarily the rewards. Like, some of these rewards, if you're not in our time zone and certain things don't mix up, you may not actually wind up being able to use all of them. But, you know, we appreciate it as just we do.
This really is like just
to help us out, and
yeah,
because I really want to start hosting this on like Stitcher or something like that.
Yeah,
the podcast I think would be really helpful, and just to get a little bit more revenue out of the channel.
Yeah.
Too.
So my computer setup at the moment is
better than it was. Not as good as it should be.
It's like third world. It's like
I wouldn't say third world.
It's pretty.
It's the quality computer you would expect in Soviet Russia.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Because like they're not communist anymore, but
it wasn't that long. It wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, my desk is a piece of cardboard, which I put on my lap.
Dude, buy a fucking desk.
If it works, hey, if it works.
No, but it could be more efficient. By being a fucking desk, you cretin. Anyway, point is, if we look at some of these rewards, so the initial one, I can't read from here, man. Like, yeah, I'm gonna have to move. No, I got it. It's fine. I realized the mic actually moves. TRC supporter, so $1 or more per video, gets access to that Patreon. It should say Patreon only posts, but yeah, do a reward where we suggest next video topic. That's in there, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So our eternal undying love is for $1 or more per video.
Our love is pretty cheap.
Yeah, well, eternal undying love is actually just code for blowjob. So you get one blowjob per video, but you have to fly to us.
I feel like we should be upping the price. It's just,
well, you'll be.
I
can
give hand jobs in the street for more than $1.
That's a good point. The next one is warm TRC supporter. So it's access to this Discord server, which we'll be active in. So basically what we're going to do, occasionally we're just going to log into this Discord server and try to chat and see if a couple of people are in there. But, you know, whilst we have a small number of subscribers as we do now, I'm not entirely sure how much that would work out. But, you know.
Yeah, because we're just trying to see where this goes. Like, a lot of this might change. Depending on how much traffic we get, basically.
But then the other one is what we were planning to do was have a TRC Discord, which will be used during the podcasts. So this would be this passionate one or more, which would be basically see what we've done with the chat here, and this is on. We'll actually do this, but only with the Discord server. So we'll actually have the Discord up there. So we'll be much more, we'll be focusing on it much more as well, like really paying attention to what's being said in it and reacting based on that. Further on, the last one, which I like, if nobody's going to fucking get $10 or more per video, but the sports bra of TRC, you're obviously very supportive. It's a good name, man.
I laughed pretty hard when I first read that.
Access to the Discord, which will be used during podcasts, access to the Discord, which will be activated, and then the ability to submit topics for us to discuss on the podcast.
Now I think about it, I feel like we should maybe lower that one to like $5.
Yeah, we'll adjust it.
Yeah.
Like, this really is like this, you know, this
is alpha stage.
Yeah, the things that are probably a bit more Jesus Christ. So let's talk about the goals.
Oh, the goals.
The goals are great. Like the levels were completely random, and we were just like, oh, let's just do that. But the goals, man. I wonder if everybody's left. I know people are still here. So I'm just reading fucking flat earther comments, so like rocking in. But the goals. So $100 per video, we'll play a drinking game with patrons during live stream. So basically, the plan is to just get rickety wrecked on a fucking podcast.
If at any point we're going to dox ourselves, it's going to be during that time.
Oh yeah, and like I'm a piece of shit as well. Like I go balls deep. Like you think I got Nazi jokes now? You wait. You fucking wait. You just step into my oven, my friend. Like, I'm going to go balls deep. Did I just say new patron level? Oh, yeah. We'll open up a new patron level. Yeah, so that's stuff like that. So then we are planning to do, at some point, a patron exclusive video, one per month, where we set up... where we'll just do one video that's only met, so it'll be unlisted, and then the link will be sent just to patrons. It'll be to all patrons, I believe. I haven't really worked out the actual logistics with that. And then at some point we'll look at getting patron guests on a podcast, but I know some people really get mad at like having random people on a podcast, like the supporters, but I think it's something I want to do. It would be nice to bring some people on the chat, though.
I think we have, being the channel that we are, I think we have a lot more interesting intellectual fans. So I think we'll have some really interesting conversations with some of the Patreons. It'd be really good to get like a diverse range of people as well.
Need some blacks.
Some trans,
then
some
an overhaul of the Patreon setup. But point is, I've made this Patreon live. I'll put some links in the description. I don't know how the fuck I do that, but I'll do that. I'll put some links in the description, and then and then you guys can, you know, go on and just have a look at it and see if it is something you're interested in doing. Like anything you can do, we'd really appreciate. So
Dave Vendetti said he'll send us enough for an automatic firearm. that would mean black market, because
it'd at least be $100,000.
It'd be pretty damn expensive. No, it'd probably be about 30 grand, because we can't get one legitimately. And the prices, I don't know if the price is that much higher than like American firearm prices. I think we might get taxed to shit on firearms. I would imagine we would.
I don't know. Anyway, we've probably got about 15 minutes left. So
did we cover that's all the Patreon stuff?
Yeah. Like, I just want to open up the comments to people to give some, like, leave some comments on this video and let us know what kind of rewards you'd want. And we'll actually, like, people can already jump on the Patreon and start giving cash money to it. But we'll actually sort out the rewards level as we go. So what should we talk about for last? Let's talk about, what do you want to talk about? Come on, someone in the comments, someone in the thing, give us something, because we just planned guns. And Jay's just staring at the fucking screen. And
I was just reading the comments. It's like some of these, like, before I was saying we have some interesting fans, it'd be good to have them on the chat, and then reading the bottom comment, which is, I'll definitely contribute to the Patreon. It's about 3 AM here, and I've got to fap really quick and head to bed. So,
hey, ejaculation helps with sleep, buddy.
Hey. I'm sure there's a study on that supports that.
Oh yeah, almost definitely.
Oh yeah,
almost definitely.
I'm pretty sure there's ones that demonstrate that it actually inhibits performance the next day in sports as well.
Oh, actually, don't get me started on that shit. That's a conversation I've had like a lot of people ask in conversations too, because it's one of the things, I guess, close to my field of research. I guess
we haven't mentioned this before, but R actually works in the field of sexual physiology and performance.
Nice.
Yeah.
Point is that there's no reason to believe that ejaculation would hinder sports performance. Only directly before.
Because it would increase vagus nerve activity, wouldn't it? So basically,
anything outside of a few hours, none of the changes are likely going to do anything.
So you get,
like, if you're about to fucking try and break the 1RM record for squats, and you jack off directly before doing it, yeah, it's probably going to hinder performance. Because you also do get like a testosterone drop immediately afterwards, but it doesn't last. Because that's the main like theory as to why people say you shouldn't, like, no boom boom the night before fight, which is that they say it lowers your testosterone, but it doesn't for, like, it's not that period of time. Like,
yeah,
it doesn't lower, and not in a magnitude which is going to significantly affect sports performance either.
Yeah.
So
I'd be more interested in the parasympathetic neural activity, though.
It wouldn't last that long, though. There's no way you're going to have neural.
If you do it the night before, I imagine 8 hours of sleep, you're going to wake up next morning and basically just be.
That's what I'm saying.
Fresh.
Right. That's what I say. Outside of a couple of hours.
Yeah. It's pretty much nothing.
Yeah. If you're fucking jacking off 4 hours before an event, it's probably not going to affect anything.
Mm.
But if you're like walking out to the cage to fight in the UFC and you're jacking off as you walk out, shooting a load at one of the fans, like, that's probably going to affect your performance.
Nah, you blow your load into your hands, so that your opponent tries to stay the fuck away from you. Because I tell you what, some dude came out and jerking off as he stepped into the ring, and there's no way I'd be walking towards him.
Yeah, but the officials wouldn't let him in the ring. He's got his dick out. There is a specific thing in the MMA, in the unified MMA rules, which is if someone ejects bodily fluids, they forfeit the fight.
Okay. How close to the cage though?
I don't know. Hey, it's kind of hard. I would envision. Look, if you walked out with your dick, they probably wouldn't let you.
I imagine they wouldn't. But hey, it'd be an interesting fight.
Or not.
Or maybe not an interesting fight because it wouldn't happen because you get ejected from the stadium. But other way, it'd be good fun.
Allah Akbar. But yeah, so I don't know. That was a weird. That was a weird side note actually.
That was a really weird tangent. But we're known for those.
So how excited are you for the Shadow of War?
Shadow of War?
Shadow of Mordor sequel?
Oh right. I forgot about it. That's how excited I am.
It comes out in a few days.
Oh really?
I think it's like the 11th.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think that should be I think that should be a Patreon goal. Fund our recreational activities. I want to buy some video games. The new video games.
You won't even finish them though, you fucking dickhead.
It's
this fucking guy
takes too much energy and effort to play video games these days.
Don't play them.
Okay, I won't. I'll just buy them and put them on my shelf.
You piece of shit.
I've got to support capitalism.
I haven't played video games in so long now because all my spare time I've been using to write the fucking book.
Yeah.
Because that's why I've been being a little faggot in my spare time.
Another Patreon goal. Donate $3 per video, and you get a free copy of ours book when it comes out. Free signed copy.
Fuck that.
I actually probably work out pretty good because maybe if it was like $10 or more, because that's only a couple of videos and you've already paid for the book.
Yeah, but that's on the conditions that I actually finish it and someone ends up fucking publishing it.
No. If you
I've already found
do it as an ebook.
I've already found a bunch of like literary agents in Australia, so I know where I'd go. I'd go to agents first and start being like, hey, I've got published scientific studies, but now I'm trying to publish something like fiction,
an erotic novel.
Man, I wish I was writing an erotic novel. Do you remember that erotic novel I sent to you? When I wrote it?
No.
Because I was talking about the book I was writing, and you were like...
Oh, you mean that one line message?
Yeah, so you said I needed to make it more like... what
did I say?
50 Shades of Grey.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Instead of writing something that's supposed to have quality. So I... So then I deleted my entire 45,000 words that I'd already written, and I wrote this. I actually got it in front of me. Okay.
It's only one line.
No, it's like two.
Is it?
A very rich man walked up to Janice and showed him his check. Fuck, I fucked it up. A very rich man walked up to Janice and showed her his checkbook. She then pulled down her pants and bent over. He then entered her anus. Pleasure. 5 years later, Janice just divorced him and is now rich. She fucks a yoga instructor now. He has a bigger dick anyway. End of story.
Oh my god, I've forgotten how funny that was. It was, you know what? It's funny. It's funnier when you narrate it. It's much funnier when you narrate it. But if you expand on that a little bit, and you've got yourself an award-winning novel.
When I sent that,
50 Shades of Grey
when I sent that to you, did you genuinely find it funny? Because
I laughed. Yeah,
I wrote it and I was fucking like in shit. The bit where it's like pleasure.
That's the bit that got me. He entered her anus. Pleasure.
It's stupid.
This is what I want to do for an actual Patreon. Donate. I don't know. I'll make up a figure out how much it's worth later. But you get to pick an idea, and both R and I will write short stories about whatever topic you pick,
That's fucking genius.
and then we'll each narrate it on a private live stream for all the Patreons.
When was that time? Was it at your house ages ago when I was doing that narration of a book?
I don't know. You were doing the book channel.
Oh, the book channel. Oh yeah. I remember now. It's a very standard book. It has pages, which is beneficial. You open it up, and the font can be read. It's in English, which is good, not horse blood. You obviously horse blood is not nearly as efficient. As you flick through it, it has a nice new book smell, which is what you want. I have a very good narration voice. I think I'm going to be on NPR radio.
It's actually pretty good.
I can't wait to go back and listen to this, because I always listen to the podcast after I've done it, just to check we don't accidentally dox ourselves at any point. I didn't notice. And I can't wait to listen to myself read out that sex novel I fucking sent. He ended her anus.
Every single podcast always ends like. I think we're getting worse and worse, going so far off topic onto such random shit.
That's kind of what happens at the end, you know. It starts to limp to its death. We've only got 7 minutes left. Only 7 people are watching now, and I'm pretty sure like only 2 of them are active. And we're just getting incredibly boring now. Except for, I want to set up the book channel. I reckon that'd be just a fucking great idea. Where I review books, but I only review the physical book. Like, when I'm just like, this is a nice quality book. It's good. The pages stay together well. Like, every single book, I just review it as like just the physical book, not the actual like insides of it, not the content.
Today we'll be reviewing a hardcover copy of To Kill a Mockingbird.
The hard copy is a bit too hard for me. I
prefer this.
I prefer the soft copy. It's just a bit better on the hands. It's, you know, it's not...
the suppleness of the pages is quite nice.
I hear it's about jigaboos, but that's not important.
I actually haven't read To Kill a Mockingbird.
Haven't you?
No.
It's actually pretty...
It's on my list.
My favorite part about To Kill a Mockingbird is in the movie, the opening line is literally the opening line, "What you doing here, nigger loving Jew boy?" and then shoots him in the face.
With like nothing else, no prelude to
No.
what she's
Like,
doing.
it's these guys driving around in a car, and there's some black dudes in the car, and then so this cop pulls them over, walks up to the car, bends down, looks at them all, and goes, "What you doing here, nigger loving Jew boy?" And the guy's just like, "What?" And then just like gets shot in the head. That's how it starts.
Wow.
The book was pretty good. The movie was fucking terrible. Like, I read the book in high school. It's a good book. Lots of people going, when the live stream hits rock bottom.
You've been incredibly boring for a long time. Thank you. At least we're consistent then.
Yeah. See, I feel like we've been consistently bad, which is good. You know what? Punishment.
What happened?
I played an ad.
That's how's that punishing? It's just gonna make people leave.
No, we just gained someone. That's what I'm saying.
That correlation.
Yeah.
Ads means more views.
Yeah.
Means people like the ads.
Just sit there spamming ads. But yeah, so you know what I really want to do is that fucking drinking games live stream.
I think that'd be good fun.
We found a fucking bourbon that we'll both drink though, American honey. That's quite nice. I drank the rest of that when you left.
Well, like
it was gone within like 2 days.
Oh, nice.
I was just like, got to finish this. It's quite nice.
It's good cheap bourbon.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when they mix it with this fucking honey mixed with bourbon. Didn't even taste like bourbon. It just tasted like honey mixed with bourbon, actually. It tasted exactly like what I would expect honey and bourbon to taste like. Whereas, like, I've been drinking Glenfiddich lately, which is quite nice. But I can't drink for a while because of my fucking surgery, which is upsetting. I feel like we should do the book channel though. Do you want to do the book channel?
What are we gonna? We're gonna start a whole new channel just to narrate
the book
books,
channel.
where we just narrate and describe books.
Yeah.
Let's do it. It'd be really easy to do. we just do a 10-minute thing and we're just talking about a book.
It wouldn't even be 10 minutes.
Nah, it's got to be legit. Like
you got to talk about the physical structure.
If you're gonna commit to the irony of like, just it's not funny unless you fully commit to it. Because if you do like a 2-minute troll, it's not that funny. It's just kind of go, oh, ha, it's just about books. But you do a whole 10-minute thing, full description of the book, from cover to cover, talking about the different pages. No, never ever mentioning the content of the writing. Just maybe like font size, texture of the book, the bindings, the dimensions, the smell, the packaging comes
the
in.
weight. This book's a bit too heavy. I think I Game of Thrones like this book's
I believe the paper's made from royal oak.
This fucking spooky bed hair has been going at me for like 2 hours now. This is unacceptable. Unacceptable.
I have
ad block like everyone else needs now. I actually don't have I don't use ad block. I watch the ads just to help out the creators.
So when I watch, you know what? When I watch something I don't like Bearing, every time it comes up with an ad, I go, nah, fuck off. And then, because I don't want to give them money. But then when I watch something that I legitimately like, appreciate, I go, you know what? Have my view time.
I can't believe you're trying to like you're shitting on Bearing so much.
I'm doing it ironically now. I don't actually hate him that much.
I'm only friends with you ironically.
Yeah.
I feel like that's almost definitely the inverse actually. So, like, I'm not really in the position to be like, hey, I'm giving you friendship out of irony, considering I have a grand total of 3 friends.
Any more than three friends is detrimental to like life efficiency.
I just have other shit I want to do. I'm just like, ugh. I already work like fucking 40 to 50 hours a week, so I'm just like, fuck that.
I struggle to keep in contact with 3 people consistently throughout the month. You just need
to cut everyone out, including me.
Yeah.
And then we only see each other for the book channel.
Yeah. We're gonna spend 5 minutes a week on the Rational channel, and the rest of the time on the book channel. And we're just gonna and the 5 minutes on the Rational channel is now about us pitching the book channel.
Every week,
trying to get the subs to go over.
Every week we release a 5-minute video going like, "Here's why you should watch the book channel."
You have no idea how happy I would be if we had a super successful ironic channel. It was just purely ironic. It would make my life. I would go to America and buy a gun and kill myself because that would be the highlight of my life. Because I can't do that in Australia.
Like how to.
It's not worth going through the paperwork.
How to Basic, the channel.
How to. I haven't seen that. Is that a channel?
How to Basic is this channel made by this Australian guy where it's how to, and it's just various things, and he smashes eggs.
Oh, I know that. Yeah.
Like if you had that channel.
Yeah, I'd be happy with that.
Wow.
I think the book channel would be like it's less over the top, but more ironic.
Yeah, I actually thought when I hope someone I really hope someone doesn't steal that idea because I genuinely think it might be successful. Could you imagine if 4chan discovered that? They'd be like, "This is great. this is."
You know the best part about it?
What
is that you put legitimate book titles into the videos, so people looking for real book reviews will come to it and view it, and then it just the better part will be. Is see how long it takes people to realize that you're not actually talking about the book. we have to fucking do this now.
I actually might set it up.
Let's fucking do it.
It'd be so easy to do. And you have loads of books that we can just review so we don't have to buy new books for a while.
The books I buy, though, aren't particularly popular. Most of them are like $200.
Well, okay, so...
No one buys Nick Bostrom's stuff.
That's going to be the new... No one buys Nick Bostrom's, right? That's going to be the new function of our Patreon. It's not for supporting TLC. It's for buying books for the book channel.
All right, I'm sold on this. I think that's a good point to conclude it.
All right. So
the starting of the book channel.
Yeah, I'm actually going to do it. I bet you now someone else is going to start it to like beat us to it.
Oh, it doesn't matter. We'll be more successful because we'll commit to it.
You're right. Finally.
They're not set up for it. We're set up, but we just have to change TRC into the book channel.
Okay, so
The reading channel.
thank you everybody for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed this really like sporadic,
Obscure podcast.
fucking podcast. Like, I don't know what's going on with this shit, but you know, we should be releasing. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do this on air just to put pressure. How much of that video did you actually end up editing?
Like I said, I made a Pepe meme. I animated a Pepe meme.
Was that for the video, or did you just?
It was just that was me trying to learn the software.
Did you at least learn the software?
I learned there's some really cool stuff you can do with it.
Do you feel like you learned skills which would help you edit this video?
Yeah, I could do basic editing on it. I was going to the more advanced stuff with it.
What is the chance of you having that video finished in a week and a half, though, when you're supposed to put it up?
I'll commit. Put the pressure on. I'll commit.
But I don't want to have to pressure you because I don't want to fucking ruin our friendship by every time you get a text from me, you think it's just me sending you channel shit. Because I know that's probably what you'd end up doing. You'd be like, fuck, he's just sending me channel shit. And you just start ignoring my texts. Like, I want my texts to be mostly memes. And basically me just sending you shit about the book I'm writing because you're the only person who I have to talk about it with.
I'll edit it. It'll get done.
No, you won't.
It'll be really poor editing, but it'll get done.
No, don't do a poor job. You should be able to do at least. You should be able to at least be able to do B- work.
What would you rate our standard quality videos as?
B+, I guess.
B+. Then I can do a C.
Oh, great.
I'll do a C+. I still got to learn this. I still got a lot to learn the software.
Well, if you actually start doing it, you'd probably learn more instead of just not doing shit.
That's true. But actually, what is it? Oh, fuck. Actually, I genuinely don't know when I'm going to get time to do it. It'll probably be Monday night. Is when
I feel like this is not the time to talk about this now anyway. I just wanted to make sure that you'd said on air that you'd actually do it. All right, so thank you everybody for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. I feel like there's been some funny moments. I feel like the start of the podcast was almost definitely when it peaked, when we fucking talked about humor. And the gun stuff was okay. After about an hour and 20 minutes, it just fell apart. The last hour was shocking. I actually, if you're still watching it at this point, I judge you harshly.
You got terrible taste.
Oh God, it must be. All right,
we're still better than Barry.
Oh Jesus Christ, this is gonna be a problem. All right, so thank you everybody. Have a good day. Try not to get put in concentration camps and get your Zeke-hiled.
What does that even mean?
Get your Zeke-hiled, man. And yeah, so take it easy. Thank you, everybody. If you're still watching this and you haven't subscribed, well, honestly, this probably hasn't been a good example of why you should the past hour. But, you know, be self-deprecating and deprecating.
Do it ironically.
Yeah, do it ironically. Subscribe to our channel and watch all our videos and like our videos and give to our Patreon ironically. And, you know, that doesn't matter to us.
So we can bring you more book channel information.
Also, make sure to like this video. Come on, guys. Don't be dicks. All right. Thanks, guys. See you later. Bye.